Hi, Mark here. The goal of today's video is to create a genuinely useful SaaS in less than an hour. We're going to keep it simple. This application is simply going to take the URL of any blog and turn it into a LinkedIn post. But this application will have login pages, a place where users can sign up, and all of the other pages you need to manage users, a URL submissions page, and a dashboard where the user can view all past jobs. So for this application, for all of the logic and functionality, we're going to use make.com. For the front end, we're going to use a no-code application builder called Softr. And for the database, the back end, we're going to use Airtable. Now, this is an application that I've not built specifically before, so it'll be interesting to see if we can build it in an hour. You can probably tell by looking at the time of the video right now, but right now, I don't know. So let's get started. If you're interested in this automation and grabbing hold of the unbelievable opportunity that exists today for AI automators, then I recommend you check out my school community, where you can download this blueprint and many more and be up and running in a matter of minutes. It's this simple. Navigate to the blueprint you want to download in the school community, go over to make.com and select import blueprint, and you're ready to go. In the school community, we also have automation learning materials and access to a full calendar of events, including masterclasses, Q&As, co-working sessions, and live streams. When it comes to AI automation, if you want to up your game, then this community is for you. Head over to school.com/AI-automations to get started. Now back to the video. Okay, so let's start by creating our database. So here I am in Airtable. I'm just going to create a new base, and we're going to start from scratch. And we're going to name this database blog to LinkedIn demo. That green's a bit much for me, so I'll change it to, yeah, that blue's fine. Okay, so we're going to rename this field. This is the the field that uniquely identifies each record. So we're going to call this one ID. We're going to make it an auto number. Click save. Here we want to make this field. Now I think our input will be our URL, and then our output will be the LinkedIn post. So we can make this on long text. We can make it a LinkedIn post. We want to allow for rich text because there's some sort of formatting then in the post, like hyperlinks and things like that. So we might want to link off to the post. We want to have the URL of the blog post that we're going to convert. So we'll edit this field to be that. So we don't want users here, but we want the URL. We'll make this a URL field. We'll keep the status field. To do in progress and done is fine. So keep monitoring where we are in the process. And then last but not least, we would want a email. There we go. Okay. So I think that's good. Move that across to there. Makes more sense with the flow. Put the email at the end there, right? Okay. So that's the basis of our first table. We're just going to name this table job queue. And we also want to create a users table. So I'll create that now. Start from scratch. So it's going to be called users. And then we can have the name. Let's make this an auto number again. Auto number. And we are going to have a name field. So I'll make this a single line of text. Name. We're going to have an email address again. I think that's about it. I'll come back to it if we need to add anything else, but for now, that's the basics of the two tables. Let's jump into Make and see if we can't create a new scenario and see if we can't start to build out some of this functionality. So if you think about it, we're going to need a webhook, which is going to be our call from our application. So from Softr, from our front-end website, we're going to expect the user to put a URL into the box, and then we're going to submit that URL to Make. And the way we can do that is through a webhook. So given that we don't have the website built yet, I'm just going to put in a set variable module in here so that we can just arbitrarily put a URL in just for testing to make sure this works, and then we'll swap it out with a webhook at the end. So this will be the URL. If we want to make it set multiple variables, because there's two things we want to pass in. We want to pass in the URL, and we'll put in a dummy URL there. So that's Crypto Eagle News. So this is our demo website that we use a lot. So we'll just take a URL from here. Oh, this one's got Batman in. Let's take that one. Okay. And let's put the URL. No, sorry. Let's go back to make. Put the URL in here. And then we also want the email address, which will get passed to us as well from the form. So when we submit the form, we'll submit the email address of the current user to make, so that we can then add that to the database and assign it to that user. So the variable will be mark at blackfeather.ai. Okay. Now, next thing we want to do is we're going to take that URL and we're going to strip out some of the HTML. So I'll just go and grab a couple of modules that I've used for this before. I won't repeat what these are used for. All you need to know is that this is a two-step process to strip out the HTML from the page. So we're getting a URL. We need to remove all the HTML before we pass it to OpenAI or to ChatGPT. So this just removes text at the bottom and the top and the bottom of the page, all the JavaScript files and those things like that. And then this removes the HTML from the rest of the article. So I won't go into detail. If you want to see that, you can watch previous videos on how we create blogs from RSS feeds on autopilot. So check out that if you want to learn more about exactly how those modules work. But that's not the point of this video. We're building a SaaS. We actually need to add another one here, HTTP, get a file. So we'll go and grab the URL. So this pulls that article down. So we've got the article there. This will go and bring all the data from the article down. We'll take that article and the data here, and then we will strip that. And then in here, I don't know how they pre-populated these. Oh, it's because they were copied over, weren't they, from the previous one. So yeah. And so we got our file, we've got our blog, we've stripped the HTML now. So now we need to send it to ChatGPT. So we're going to do message and assistant in this case. So if you've not created any assistants before with OpenAI, you can go to platform.openai.com/assistants and create new assistants here. And in here, you can go ahead and specify some instructions for those assistants. So we've got a whole bunch of instructions here for what we should do for creating a LinkedIn social media assistant. So this is the instructions I provided. So in this case, we're not going to have an industry, so we might just remove that because this is set up to be used as a template. So I will just clone that and we'll use it specifically for this project. So this is LinkedIn social media assistant, and I'm going to put blog to LinkedIn post school demo. There you go. So we will save that off now. Saving, great. So this is the LinkedIn assistant that we want to message. I won't go into the details. You can go and grab all of the LinkedIn assistants we've got from our school community, and they're all available for download there. So what we're going to do is act as an informed LinkedIn expert. Because we're not going to know the industry, we're just going to keep that blank. But if you do know the industry, and it's specifically, then mention that. And then you want to provide examples as well at the bottom of the here that probably fit your industry. So these are quite generic ones that I've got that is for a generic assistant. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and create the assistant. Let's refresh that because we just created that new one. Let's see if we can see it. Here it is. Okay, so let's go to user. And in here, we want to create a message, which is, so we've already provided the instructions. It knows in the assistant that it's going to receive a LinkedIn post, or sorry, a blog to convert into a LinkedIn post. So in here, I'm just going to put blog or article. And then we're going to pass the article in, which will be this one. And that's it. That's all we need right now. And then we're going to want to pass this back to our application. So actually what we need to do here is we need to bring Airtable into the mix. So what we'll do is we'll add Airtable here, and we'll just update the table to say that things have got started. So we'll do create a record in here. And here we're going to add a new connection, OAuth. This is going to be called blog to LinkedIn school demo. Okay. So now we just have to give access to our database, give it access to make. So here it is, blog to LinkedIn demo, grant access. Right, our base, blog to LinkedIn demo. Our table is the job queue. And the URL will be the URL. The email will be the email. So we will update these afterwards, because obviously we're going to remove this module and replace it with the webhook, but for now this is fine. And the status, we want to turn this off and map, because it gives you the statuses from within the database then, so we can say it's in progress. Click save, auto align. Okay, so in there we're in progress, and what we can do here is at the end is just mark it as complete. So we do update a record. The record we're going to update is job queue, and the record we can get from the original Airtable record here, which is ID, and we're going to update the status to say done, and we're going to add the LinkedIn post into here. So the LinkedIn post will be the output from ChatGPT, and then we're good. So I think that covers it. We may have missed something. If we have, we can come back to that, but that's the essence of our simple automation. So now we're going to rename this as well. So this is blog to LinkedIn demo, school demo. Okay, right, save that again, and let's now go over to our Softr tool. Okay, we're going to create a new application. So in Softr, if you've not used it before, there's a whole bunch of different applications that are already templated you can use it for. You can create a CRM, dashboards, internal tools, portals, directories, websites, forms. So there's loads and loads of things here that you can just really helps you get started in this no code application builder. But what we're going to do, we're going to start from scratch. But even when you start from scratch, it gives you a whole load of useful pages to get started with. So we're just going to take all of these. The most useful ones are these login pages. So it's got reset and forgot password page, it's got sign in, sign up, user profile page. So all of those, having those, it's literally plug and play. It just works. So you'll see that. But we'll create the application now and get started. So create a new page. And the page is going to be called LinkedIn Content Dashboard. And then you can go and click here to add blocks, and it gives you a list of blocks here on the right hand side that you can choose from. So it's got some suggested blocks here, which are lists, grid, table, conditional form, but there's a whole bunch of different things that you can add here. So there's forms, there's payment pages for Stripe and things like that, tables. You've got this inbox view, which is sort of like an Outlook view, calendar. So you can create all sorts of different things. We just want to create a list here of all of the jobs that we've created in the past. So we're going to choose one of these list controls. Let's have a look which one might be best for us. So let's go list with horizontal cards. And then we need to go and select our data source. So we go add new data source, Airtable, connect. Connect that to our base. So This one. LinkedIn demo. Table is job queue. We don't need to select the view. I mean, does it make any difference? We can. Let's go in, shall we, and create a job. Let's put in the URL. I'll tell you what else we can add in here. We can add in a title, because that'll help name the job that we've got. So we'll probably go and create that at some point as well. So single line text, let's create that field. We'll put it up here. Let's get rid of this, get started over here. So we've got a little bit more space to work with. Okay, so probably the other thing that we want to go ahead and create in here is, we'll just create a name here. Let's add module in here. Create a chat completion. And we'll keep this basic. You can flesh out the prompt a little bit more if you'd like to, but what we're going to do is we're going to keep this simple. So we'll go user. I'm going to say create a, let's call it click worthy title for this article. And we're going to specify the article, not the LinkedIn post. So this will be this output here. We're not going to use the title. Maybe you'll end up deciding to use it in your LinkedIn article, but basically this is just to help us name that when we're looking down in our dashboard. So we can then tie that to the title in here. So this one. Let's save again. Okay. So actually we can go and create a few records in here by just running this to make sure that it looks okay. So we'll run this now. This has got our dummy data in. Just creating the LinkedIn post. So we'll go over here. There you go. So we've got the LinkedIn post here. It's created. That's good. Let's create the LinkedIn post. Let's put in a couple of emojis to keep it, a bit more engaging. We've got some hashtags here, and then we've got a call to action at the bottom, which is all nice things to have. What we want to do is actually ask it to not put these in quotes. The title, it always does that if you ask for a title, so you just need to specify to the assistant not to do that. So we'll say, please do not include quotation marks in the name of the title, e.g. give the name of the article in the following format. Get rid of that. And then not like this. Okay, that should be enough to do the job. Let's run it through. We'll get two records in there then, and hopefully we'll see this. Got rid of those quotation marks for the next one. So let's just delete these records here. We don't need these anymore. There you go. No quotes around there anymore. And we've got another LinkedIn post ready to go. But let's go into the content. So in here, it's got an image. We're not really going to need an image, so let's get rid of that. The ID is probably where we want the title of the article to be. So we're going to make this a title. Okay, that looks better. And then we're going to go into a LinkedIn post here. I think this is the bit that we want underneath in the accordion, where we want to click it. So we're just going to remove it from here right now. Status is good. What we can do is, that shows that it's done here. But if you click here, you can see as defined in data source, which is actually a really nice feature. So the colors that you define here in the database to do is red, yellow, and green. You can pass that through to Softr as well by changing this setting here. And then under here, in rich text, we're going to go ahead and add a LinkedIn post. So this will pop open from this point down. And I think is that everything. We've got title. Oh, we need to add the URL as well. So let's add in URL here. So URL, content URL, and then we'll call this blog URL. So that gets hidden as well. I don't know why these hashtags are so huge. They have no right to be so huge, but we'll worry about that in a minute. Okay, so let's start to format this page a little bit more. So what we can do is we can add a title and a subtitle. So we're going to add this in, and this will be called the LinkedIn content dashboard. And the subtitle can have here is your LinkedIn posts ready to publish. Okay, we don't need this tags section here, so we can get rid of that. We can go down to here, so we don't need this status. I don't think we need a status or anything. So this is like would filter on the ones that are done that are in progress, but they're in progress in such a short period of time, we don't really need this. So we can go ahead and delete that. This add record, we can add that in there actually. We can leave that in there potentially. I was thinking about having a different page where we go and add the URLs, but it might be quite nice to add them there. So let's leave that in. Maybe we'll have a separate page as well anyway. And I think that's looking quite good. Number per page, we can just ramp this right up. Otherwise we'll end up with loads of paging. And I guess we want to sort by the most recent, which we don't have a date in there yet. So let's see how it does that anyway. He might actually do that anyway, so we'll see. Okay, content. So in here, in the search bar, so you can search for content. So we're going to be able to enable that. That's quite a handy feature, I think. So we don't want to be able to search on ID. That makes no sense. We can search on title. We can search on LinkedIn post. And I think that'd be it. There's nothing else that's useful for searching in. So we can leave those two things that it'll search when you use the search bar. Okay, go to actions. Add record is fine. We want it to expand when you click on it, which is good, but you've got other options here to do something else. Styles and then visibility we'll come back to. So we can rename this list as well. Let's call this the LinkedIn content dashboard. Dashboard. Perfect. Okay, let's publish that and see how we're doing. Open tab. Okay, so let's change some navigation here so that we can actually see that. So you've got navigation here, which is for a logged in user and a non-logged in user. So we can go and edit these links in here for our logged in user. At the moment, it's just we're showing for non-logged in users. So what we'll do is we'll make this visible for non-logged in users as well. So you have to go to the home page to edit these, and then we'll come back to looking at the visibility in a minute when we do the login pages. So now we should be able to see that page. Let's refresh the page. Actually, we want to go and add the links in here. So let me show you how to add the menu links in here. So you can have a logo, which is in the header there. And the links, this is like the sublinks. So when you click on this, it will drop down and open up the links. If I refresh this here, actually, so it's got it on the left-hand side here, which always looks horrible. And I'm going to change that straight away because I much prefer the horizontal style. So we're going to move that to horizontal. Fixed header, so the menu stays at the top, which is quite nice. Optional, of course. And let's delete these subheadings. We're not going to need these at the moment. In link 1, we're going to have, this is going to be the, well, at the moment we've only got the content dashboard. And the add action, the action will be to open a page, and the page we're going to open is the content dashboard. Okay, so let's click on this. All right, you can see we've got our links at the top here. Obviously this can all be styled to how you want it. But we'll go to content dashboard. This shows our stuff here. So if we click on it, we can now see our LinkedIn post, our huge hashtags, and the original blog URL. And we can click on that because we made it a link. So we can go and check that out if we want to. Okay, I think that's looking good. Probably want to change the spacing a little bit and make that as small as we possibly can because it's quite large. So you can go and do that. So let's go back to our content dashboard. Click on here, styles. So padding top. So this is actually just for the entire page. So I'll bring it up to the top and the bottom. We want to connect our application to make. So when we add a new record, that actually then kicks off our automation. At the moment, we've still got dummy data in there, if you remember. So what we can do is we go and delete this now. Delete. I'm going to add a webhook. Custom webhook. And here we call this blog to LinkedIn. Little demo. Click save. I'm going to copy this URL here and go back over to Softr. Save this. Actually, so we need to change these now, because actually what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to run this webhook once and send some data to it so that we can hook these back up. So we'll go ahead and do that. So what we'll do is we'll go and create a new page, which will be our URL submissions page. So we'll call this page submit article. And we want to go and add a form in here. So we go to forms and select one that we like and the look of. So we'll go for this one. This actually looks quite nice. And then we're going to hook up the data source. So the data source is going to be make. And in here, we're going to want to paste our webhook that we just got from make. So this will submit any of the form data directly over to that webhook. So on form submit, we want to redirect it to our dashboard. I think it's probably a good place. So let's do, let's make this URL submitted something, and the action is go to open page, and the page we want to open is the dashboard. Then need to add reCAPTCHA or a new tab, so that's fine. And the questions, we can go in here, and so we've got the heading here, so we can say submit article URL, and in the text we can say add a valid in the text below. Add a valid article below. Okay, that looks good. We don't want full name. What we're going to have here is a single line of text. It's going to map to our URL field. So let's name the label article URL. Can't spell today. Is early, and then enter valid. Okay, it's a required field, and this is going to map to our URL field. And in this section down here, we don't want your city. We can go and delete this entire section here. Let's delete that. Okay. That is looking pretty simple, straightforward. Logic, we don't need to add anything. You can change some styles again of the form itself. The other thing that we need to do need to add another field though. So we want to add, so the other thing that we need to add into that database is the user that submitted it. So when we want to filter down on the current user and only show the user their work, not somebody else's, we need to know who submitted that work. So we can say the value here is the logged in user, the email address. I'll make this email. Okay, let's publish this. And what we're going to do is we're just going to add the link into here as well. Oops, do not delete that. So the second link will be submit URL. We have add an action, open page, submit article. Let's change this to submit article so it's consistent. Okay, let's try again. Okay, submit article. Go over to here. We need to reduce some of that padding again, but let's just take Batman again. Submit that. We're not expecting to work other than it's going to pass it to the webhook. So now we can actually go and grab this out. So it's not past the it's not past the user. So let's go back and see what happened there. Oh, I know why, because we've not set up the users yet. So there is no logged in user. We're not logged in yet. So let's go and set up the users now. So we go to users here on the left hand side and you go sync with data source again. So now we can go in and add our users. We did not name our data source very well. Let's go in there, LinkedIn demo, users, email, name, and that's it. So it's a really nice feature within Softr. You can have a traditional username and password, or you can have a magic link. So they just need to click this link to log in every time they want to log in, rather than having the problem of remembering and resetting and anything with passwords. They can have a magic link. So that's a really nice feature. We will go for that, I think, for this. Okay, so we need to go and add our first user now. So let's go and add Mark at blackfeather.ai. Name is Mark Mars, and we're going to do generate magic link. So here's our link. You can send this by email to customers, so they get it in an email. They can go and check it out. But I'm just going to copy it here, but later. Okay. So if I go and click this link now, it will automatically log in, and that is effectively our user authentication process. There's a couple of steps, but now we've got a way for users to be able to log in and start using our application. So we need to re-enable that bar for logged in users. So let's go back to Softr. Let's go to the home page. So we'll make this visible to logged in users, and this one we want to be visible to non-logged in users because they need to sign in or sign up. We can show that process in a moment. Obviously this home page hasn't been designed yet, so you can go and add different things in. So let's take a look. I can show you how to do that as well. So we can go and add a new block here. The block could be static. So yeah, so we can go ahead and just choose one of these. So I'll pick this one, and then you can go and edit these. So easy LinkedIn post creation. You can say sign up, an action to go to the sign up page. So open page, sign up page here. So you can, this is very customizable and you can do what you want here, but let me just delete these ones out. This looks a little bit more official. There you go. Obviously lots of work still to be done there on the home page, but just to get the functionality of the application working. So you want to set the visibility for every single block. It's down to block level that you can set this visibility. So visibility here, it's all users. So we don't care if you're logged or not logged in. That makes sense. If we go to our content dashboard, obviously this one we only want people who are logged in to be able to see. So we go here, logged in users, we go to our submit article page here, visibility, logged in users, and that's all we need to do. We've pretty much got the whole setup there for signing up and forgetting your password and all those things. So we'll run that and I can show you. Let's just delete this add record button for now, because we've got our separate page for it, and we'll keep it that way for now. Okay, so let's publish this. I'll refresh the page. I'm a logged in user now, so I should be able to see the logged in navigation bar here. This is our new home page. If I sign out, so I can click sign in here, and this is, you've got to sign in with Google. You just need a little bit of setup to be able to do that. You want to put your logo in there, username and password. So this is by default set up for username and password scenario. You also forgot forgotten your password recovery section. This is all built in and all done for you. So effectively, we've done the job there. So what I'll do is I'll go and grab our magic link again. So that appears not in here because we haven't got a column for it. Let's go and delete these, make it a bit tidier. But actually, if we go into Softr, go to our users, we can regenerate the magic link if we need to, or we can go and just copy that out again. So we can just go and quickly log in. There we are. We're now logged in again. So I'll close this one off. Okay, so let's go and test our form again now. So what we should see when we go to the webhook, we should see that our user also gets passed through. So submit article. That is not the article I want to submit. That is our magic link, which doesn't matter. Our webhook's got this through, and it's got our user here now with the email address, which is perfect, exactly what we want. So we can hook this up. We can change these fields out for the webhook. So URL, email, okay, and in here we're going to go and grab the URL as well. Let's save this. We'll keep it running like this while we're waiting, and we'll go grab our URL here. Go to submit article again, enter in the URL, click submit. URL submitted. It should redirect us now to the page. So it's got it in reverse order, so we can probably go ahead and change that. But it's in progress at the moment because we just submitted it. It's got the URL there. We can probably populate this with something so that it actually shows that it's doing it. So let's go and refresh this page. It should be done now anyway. There we go, and we can see our LinkedIn post already done, ready to go. So let's just go and add something in there to the automation, shall we? So in here, when we create the record, let's just refresh this because I think it's not picked up the new field yet. We add that in a little bit later. There it is, the title. So we can say working on, and then we can just mention the URL. Save that. That should be a slightly nicer experience, I think. Okay, so what we need to do here actually is, it seems to have forgotten our condition, which is we only want to show what's in the current user. So maybe because we hadn't set that up before, it didn't work. So what we can say is just show the stuff that's in the job queue. So the email has to match the logged in user's email, and that will then only show that content for the logged in user. So we can do that. We can go and test that out. We can test that out in preview mode, but we need to go and create a new user to do that. So we can go ahead and do that. So let's go to here. Let's log out. Let's show the sign up process. So sign in, no, sign up, sorry. So I'm going to use different email, one@blackfeather.ai, and password, we're going to create one. So let's do one I can remember. And do Mark Mars 2. Agree to the terms and conditions, sign up. Okay, so we're signed in now. And if I go to submit article, or if I go to content dashboard, more to the point, it should show me nothing in here because I am not associated. I did not create that article. So if I go ahead and create one now, so we use this again, submit, it'll redirect. It should say that it's working on it, hopefully. So that has not worked. Why has that not worked? Because we did not have this running. So that's why it did not work. So let's just turn this on and then submit again. So submit article, submit. And there you go. It's actually done it twice because it did run after I turned it on, the automation, but now it's running this second one for a second time. You can see it says working on this article. It says it's in progress. refresh the page and say it's done. You can see that our LinkedIn posts in there. Okay, so we still need to sort this list so that it's in the right order. So if we go into here, we can sort by however we want. So we can't sort by latest. So I guess we need to add a field into our database to make that easier. URL, title, status, LinkedIn post, dataset, ID. Oh, ID. We can do ID actually, because that is the auto number in the database. So the auto number here will give us the job. So if we've got the latest one at the top, we just need to do it in the reverse order there. So will that be, that will be Z2A, I hope. I always get that the wrong way around. Let's publish that and see. Submit a new article here. Again, we'll do the same one. Should we do a different one? Let's do a different one this time. Go for this one. Submit article. Redirects, and there you go. We've got it's actually in reverse order now, so the newest ones will be at the top. I just need to refresh this page. Obviously, we can set up some sort of automatic refreshing there with some code. I'll have a refresh button or something like that. But if I click on there we go. We've got our article we can link to. We've got our LinkedIn post. If I go ahead and search here, so if I search for Arkham, Arkham, it's only going to show the 2 Arkham posts. So that search looks like it's working as well. So that's pretty much it. We've got a working functional application. Obviously, we need to add logos and change the way the site looks a bit. But as far as the functionality goes, you can be as creative as you like in creating your automations. And this is a very simple one, but that's how you would create a front-end application, a SaaS tool. I guess the last thing we want to fix up here is this ugly size of the hashtags. I don't know why they're so big, but let's just look a look using developer tools. If I use this little arrow here, I can click on it. Okay. So for some reason, it's setting this as a heading tag, an H1 tag. So it's picking up the style for the H1 tag, which is not what we want. And I don't know why I do that. It looks like a bug to me. Something I need to submit to Softr maybe, but that should not be setting as an H1 tag. So do we have any other H1 tags in the page? Okay, so that's only H1. So even this title up here at the top is not an H1, it's an H2. So it's a little hack, but what we could do is just create some CSS to change the size of this H1 pretty easily, I think. So let's see if we can get ChatGPT's help on this. So write me some CSS code that finds the H1 tag in a page, in an HTML page, and places it with the same style as the paragraph style. Let's see what it comes up with that. Okay, so we only need this bit, I think, because it's saying it's just giving us an example there. So it's assuming this, then we're going to give you this. So let's see what we have. I don't think we need all of those line heights because they're going to be the same anyway. So I think we just need to change this one, font weight, color. I don't think we need to change. So what we'll do is we'll go back into here. We'll go and add some custom code, static. So this is a paid feature to add custom code, but if you're going to use this in any great detail, then you're going to want to change you want to move to a paid account anyway. So let's not bother with color because I think that's the right color. Whoops, that's the right color anyway. Let's go back to here. Get rid of that. And we just need to put some style tags around here. Style. Okay. Font weight 16. Let's just check. Let's have a look at what the font weight is on here. And we can go to developer tools. Here. Oops. It says the font weight is 16. ChatGPT must have known. Let's see if that works. So if we save this off. Refresh the page. Pop this open. There you go. So we've got our updated. It's updated now, so it's no longer H1 text, which is great. So that works. It looks visually okay. I think that's okay. That's all good. It's a bit of a hack, but there just seems to be a bit of a bug there. But since there's no other H1 on the page, that's quite an easy way of just to fix it. Now in the next couple of videos, we're going to build on that. So we're going to also create a Chrome extension, which does a very similar thing. So when I'm on a blog page, I'll have a button that just hovers there on Chrome, and I can click that button and it'll submit the URL of the blog that I'm looking at to our application. But there's some things that we want to do there. We're going to want to limit access to, so it's not just anybody, it's only people that have signed up to our service that are able to use the Chrome extension. So we're going to go through the process of setting up an API key and only allowing access via an API key. And they're going to have to enter those credentials into their browser in order to be able to use the extension. And we're going to do all that in ChatGPT, so that will be fun and interesting experience to be able to do that. And we're not going to do any coding ourselves, we're just going to let ChatGPT do it. And last but not least, we're going to have another video where we're going to monetize our application. So we're going to create pages so people can pay by Stripe, but we're also going to have a credit functionality so that they pay for a certain plan, they get a certain number of credits each month. So maybe it's 1 credit they use every time they use the service, and therefore we can set up different plans for those users as well. So that's how we're going to build on what we've created today. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you found it of some use. If you're interested in any of the automations we're creating or the agents, you can sign up to our school community. Check out the link in the description, where we have a regular calendar of events, automations training, and a whole bunch more. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.